another quick turnaround. How's everyone come through Tuesday night?
Yeah, all good. I think, as I said on the night, of some fatigue there, certainly from the efforts that have put in over the last 2 games in particular, and probably training, as we discussed, being a little bit more intense than perhaps they'd been used to. But it is about recovery now, and the main thing is that we didn't pick up any injuries, so I'll have a squad to select from again, the same as we did the other night.
Yeah, so a few tired bodies out there, understandably, for the effort they gave on Tuesday. What does your kind of recovery and get ready for Saturday look like?
Very easy if you're a player, to be honest. I think they went away from the training ground, and I think they've been in the pool, maybe the jacuzzi, done some stretching, probably all the stuff as a player that I would have hated and rather just have trained, but I think now they seem to like that extra day recovery. So that's what they've done, and hopefully we'll get the benefit from that.
Obviously, the news coming out about half an hour ago about Max Mata joining Sligo on loan. What was the thinking behind that one?
I think just an opportunity there for Max to go and get some games and hopefully get enjoying his football and a bit of confidence back. Although it hasn't been long, I had a chat with him, and I think he was open about his confidence wasn't at the level that obviously he would really like. And since I've come in with maybe the system we're playing, etc., we haven't, or I haven't found sort of place to give him minutes and opportunities, and that's where it has been difficult. We spoke about the other day, almost trying to arrange a game potentially, because some of the lads I'm seeing on the training pitch, and that's where it starts. But maybe that's very different at times. You maybe training and playing in smaller areas than bigger pitches, and that doesn't suit everyone. So from that point of view, I'm just having to make decisions that I feel are right, and some of them could do with that opportunity. And then in Max's case, he obviously had a very successful spell there before, hoping that he can go there, start playing. We'll obviously monitor how he's getting on, and then it'll get to the end of the season, draw a line under it, and go from there. He's obviously got New Zealand coming up as well, games there, so I think it's good for him to get playing some football.
Just for clarification, that's the end of our season here,
yes.
Not their season.
No, I think I believe it's first week of May, I think, when they finish, so Max will get a bit of time to get home, a bit of downtime, which I think he needs as well, because when he signed he'd had a long season. And then he's got the games with New Zealand prior to reporting back for pre-season training.
He's obviously not the only player that's not made the matchday squad in recent weeks. How are they reacting to that? Because it must obviously be frustrating as a player to be in that situation.
It is, and I've been there plenty of times myself. Again, a long time ago, but now manage that group of players, and they're probably the hardest ones to manage in truth, because if you're playing, in reality, you're kind of happy, or you hope they are anyway. And the ones that aren't getting that game time can be frustrated, and where physically I think we're probably asking them to do more than what they'd done previous. That's my understanding at least. And often a way to do that is some running, and then that can add to that frustration. But it's not meant to be a test, but always it's a test of your attitude and your character, and that's something that we're really big on. So I can only say when they're training, you can see little moments of frustration, but that's same in every training session, because you want to be competitive. But the attitude has been right, and that's all I can ask from them, and keep sort of banging the drum about it is for them first and foremost. While it might benefit myself, the rest of the staff, or maybe the team in the future, there's an element, you are self-employed. The best bit of advice I was ever given was exactly that. As a footballer, there's an element of you being self-employed. So you do all you can. If the opportunity doesn't arise, in the coming days, weeks, eventually it will, and the work that you've put in will benefit you. So just trying to get that message across and hope that they understand that, believe in it. At the time, it can be hard maybe not to think that it's the right information, But I guess one thing you do get as you get older, you have that experience to know that it's true.
Obviously, we've had a bit more time to reflect on Tuesday, and in the grand scheme of things, it's a good point against a team right up there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way it happens, it always seems, because we've got a point against Derby, and that seems like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then, a few days later. But how have they kind of reacted after that? Is it a case of put it behind you now and move on?
Well, we said that, and I haven't seen loads of them because of him going off site, but they all seemed in good spirits, the ones that I have seen. And you make a really good sort of comparison, as in we were either side, not quite as late as perhaps Barnes' equaliser when we scored at Derby, but the difference, how that can just make you feel. But I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I was all right after Tuesday. Yeah, I would have loved to have took the 3 points, but I think I was thinking more about the overall performance and how we looked to threat. And yes, Barnsley looked to threat too. But I haven't seen them play a game where they haven't created chances. And then whether it's through good saves, good defending, we managed to keep them at bay for large parts. So I was still positive after that. And the players need to be exactly the same and get ready for what we know is going to be another tough game against another team that, were relegated last year, that have, maybe fancied to do well, and I think maybe off-field sort of issues there have made it a bit more difficult a season. But you stick the points back on, they're a top 10 side again, with some very good players.
Yeah, the league is so close. When you look at Wigan, they're about 2 points above you, but so many places above because of how tight the league is this season. So you've got an opportunity to, once you get 3 points, and that gap soon suddenly closes.
Yeah, it does, and I think we experienced that with, I think the win against Northampton. You suddenly jump and then you don't win, and you slide back down. In some ways, I'm not going to sort of stand in front of you and say I don't look at the table, but the actual position wise, I'm not getting too wound up about or caught up in, because I just said that can change very quickly within a week or a midweek game. So I think just trying to get the points that we can is the most important thing. As I touched on, a lot of teams seem to be suddenly picking up wins or getting good draws, and when the same realistically in terms of since I've came in. I think we've had either win and 2 good draws when people wouldn't have expected those results on the day, I don't think. And we've got to try and keep producing those results as much as we can.
And just finally then, just your thoughts going into the game against Wigan?
As I said, a tough game. I say it every week, and people think that's all managers say, but it's very rare you do get a game where suddenly you can, I wouldn't, but as the saying goes, have a cigar on the side of the pitch and you just think, oh, this is easy, put my flip-flops on, and it doesn't happen. Oh, very, very rarely. And certainly, respectfully to ourselves, certainly in the position that we're in. So we know they got beat midweek, but still you can see the quality of the players that they have, and I think they've got certainly players in certain areas of the pitch where you could argue they are championship players, but at the minute they're not. And we've got to try and, like I say, impose our game on them, get the crowd involved again, and try and play at a tempo. And that will be hard because of the games we've had. But we've got to dig deep. We're going to have had 2 games as well. We've got to push the tempo as much as we can and try and get the victory.